Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Thought I'd bring you along with me. I've got a chore to do, and it involves homesteading and chickens and snakes. Guess what I got in a bucket? That's right, got a rat snake. Went to get eggs about the middle of the day, and this one was just about to take an egg, which normally is fine, and this is going to be a little bit of an adventure because I have relocated rat snakes before. Big ones. This one's small. But yeah, they always find their way back, even a quarter mile away, and they just come back. And right now, even though this one is a small one, I have a couple chicks that I need to protect. And I do have a juvenile, or I'm sorry, I have two juveniles. And sadly, if you look back at the video I did a couple months ago, you'd see me talking about how proud I was that a fox took one of my adult hens and another hen hatched 9 babies. Well, I'm down to 2. It's been a rough summer for predator. Snake, big snake, and fox and hawk. So I deal with things differently. It's all case by case. And this one, even though it's small, I've got 2 baby chicks, just not going to take a chance. So I told myself next time that I come across a snake, I'm going to take it across the lake. So that's what we're going to do. Let's go get this critter on the other side of the lake, because I do not want it finding its way back. And I'm not going to, exterminate it or anything. It's just not necessary. Relocation is just fine. So that's what we're going to do. Let's go. I've got the canoe here locked up against the tree. Let's get on over to the other side of the lake. And the reason the canoe's already down here is because there's a lot of bass hitting with a shad or schooling up, and they're coming up and hitting those small fish, and I'm going after a big one. So let's do both these errands together. Might as well. And yeah, I hope you're doing all right, because it is hot right now. It's about 100 degrees today. Right now, it has gone down to about 90. We've got some thunderstorms in the area, but there is no wind. It is about probably 80% humidity. It's rough. But I know people in other areas, especially Texas, are, suffering a lot worse than I am here. So I count my blessings. And yeah, so let's just go see what it looks like out there. All right, let's go check it out. Well, you want to have a look at him before we take off? Sure. Here he is. Little eastern rat snake. It's probably about, I don't know, 3 foot. Really small, but again, I've got too much to protect at the moment, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it. So let's go ahead and put this snake in a canoe. What can go wrong? And we'll get him onto the other side of the lake. No, I'm just kidding. It's way over there. All right, let's head out. But yeah, let's see. So how much to share and what not to share, but might as well just share it all, the truth. It can be rough with predator. Now, I love all the critters, but I take each situation on a case-by-case basis, and unfortunately, I had a 6-foot snake that was only hunting my juvenile chickens. But yeah, it took me a while to figure it out. But seeing is believing. I had every now and then 10 to 11, 12 o'clock midnight, I'll let the dog out for another break or one last break for the night, and I always pay close attention to the coop, especially, you know, at the least I'll listen to see if I hear any commotion and anything at all. And sometimes a hen will get knocked off the roost or fall off the roost or whatever the situation is, but a lot of times my birds, for some reason, they'll make noise at night. They're not just completely docile and easy to have your way with them. Maybe it's because they get a little bit of light, I don't know, but I had a hen that I could hear her. I could imagine her pacing the ground of the coop and mumbling and grumbling. So I knew she wasn't happy. So I opened that door to have a look, and sure enough, I see a huge fear of in the process of losing a bird, and it was a juvenile, and it was a 6-foot rat snake. And it already had that juvenile halfway consumed in its mouth, and it did spit it up and try to get away from me because it knew that I said enough is enough. I had relocated that one before. I dealt with it for a long time. I love them. They do a great job if they're going after a small varmint and rodent and whatnot and other snakes. But when you go from 9 juveniles down to 2, and I can attribute at least 3 or 4 of those to the snake, then that's enough is enough. It's no longer hunting anything but chicken. And to make it worse, there was a dead adult hen on the coop floor one morning. And little homestead detective work, I decided that what had happened is this was a broody hen that was ferociously, or, in chicken terms, ferociously protecting her space. And that big old snake didn't want to have anything to do with that, so it killed the adult hen just to get to her eggs. I don't normally hatch in summer, but it is what it is. This summer, I'm letting it happen. So, I feel terrible, but I had to do what I had to do, because that snake was too big and too much of a nuisance. Now today, this one here, it's just a little guy. No hard feelings at all. But first time I've seen it, and it's going after an egg. But I've got a broody hen that only managed to hatch 3. One didn't survive. So she's got 2. Oh, there's a big bass right there. She's got 2 right now. And I am going to protect those 2. So even though this little snake here is really not that big of a threat, because of those 2 baby chicks right now, I'm gonna relocate them. And I live up to my promises. After walking a quarter mile away and driving, well, I never really drove too far. I prefer to just walk. But these things, they just keep coming back. So I said, next time I catch one, I'm gonna take it on the other side of the lake. And here we are. Not too bad. All right, let's get this job done. I wanted to have a couple casts. Sun's going down. Thunderstorms ain't gonna make it. They're broken up over the mountains. All right, let's get this done. That's gorgeous, isn't it? God's creation is beautiful. It's a lot of responsibility. We do have dominion, but what separates us from animals? Well, quite a few things, but one is compassion and reason. and all that. So that's what I do. All right, little buddy, you ready? You get to live on the other side. Boy, this is all super sketch, man. It's like super, it's very steep. No problem for him, but no telling what I'm gonna wind up going through here. All right, buddy. There he goes. There he goes. Boy, that was fast. Well, sorry, y'all. I don't know if you got to see that or not, but he is gone into those rocks. All right, buddy. Enjoy your new home. Don't go into the canoe. And I'd best get, because the sun is going down and the moon's already up. I think it's a little bit more than half. Oh, yeah, that's kind of sketchy. This is actually a reservoir. So what I'm on this side right here is a steep drop off for the original river. And they dammed it up and made a reservoir out of it. So this is the deep side that follows the old river. And the other is the shallow side with a lot of silt, and where the dominant wind current carries all the sand and any erosion and whatnot. Alright, that's enough for recording now. Let's go back to the other camera. Try to catch the sunset. It's gorgeous. Well, I don't see very much action at all. I've been seeing it, something just hit right over there. I've been seeing it pretty much in the middle of the lake, or the reservoir. Pretty much in the middle, but you know, all over the place. There you can see, I can see a few now. There's like groups of little schools of shad. It just looks like little oil slick from a distance, or maybe little, like a local wind on the water. And it's just a little bit of disturbed water and area, and all these little minnows are schooled up at the surface, and every now and then a bass will come up and eat one and head back down to cooler water. So I don't usually have much luck with lures, but I do seem to have better luck just before it gets dark, probably because the fish are smart enough to see my weird purple lure and realize that ain't no fish, that ain't no shad. But I do catch them, but pretty tough. What do you think? You want to look at the sunset? I'd imagine. Let's get this turned around. Yeah, I hope I don't seem too rough, but like I said, I always care for God's creations. Interesting. Oh, there's some shad moving right there. Yeah, you can see all the, I think you can see it. Okay, I need to shut up and cast. That's a fail. Well, it's a bit far out. I mean, there's nobody on the lake, but there's a couple guys that'll come out. I mean, they are just professional, it seems like, when it comes to catching fish. I shouldn't say professional. They do it for food, self-reliance. They're not looking for trophies and money. But I don't have any lights, so I'm not gonna be in a dangerous situation. In case somebody comes hauling ass down the deep part of the lake, I'm gonna scooch over to the shallow side and give it a couple casts, but it's all good. If the as soon as the barometric pressures start changing, I think next week we're supposed to go down into the 80s, and I bet you things will change with fishing, but I don't expect much until October. October is when I can come out here and just catch. Less fishing, more catching. But I got a lot to learn. I grew up on salt water. This is like catching bait fish compared to what I grew up catching. I mean, I still love it. I love the water and just all of nature. I love it. Love it, respect it. Well, I shouldn't say love too strongly. I don't love the creation. I love the creator. So, I'm very respectful and you know, try to live my life in a wholesome way, in tune with nature, but not losing my sensibility of what it is. Nature's a beast, and we're human. Most of us are. Seems like things are kind of, I don't know, sometimes it seems like things are changing a little bit. More people are turning into animals. Well, yeah. Or they just got this sense that an animal is an equivalent to a human. I've seen some YouTube videos on other channels, and you know, I can see I don't let myself get carried away with the whole division tactic, us and them. So I take it with a grain of salt and wonder how much of it's even real. But there's definitely some talk I hear sometimes where people just really, they just have this strange view of nature, and I think it's because they're not in it. They are in their home and they're surrounded by man-made stuff, and they read really good articles. And I get it. I've been there before. But I have spent so much time in nature, and I know a lot of people have. I mean, I'm not unique, but maybe a little bit more so than the people that just don't hang out in nature. Because I have seen some of the most beautiful things, and I have seen some of the scariest things. And I'll tell you what, an animal, a wild animal, a non-domesticated animal, man, oh man, just treat it with a lot of respect, in the sense that it is either going to be indifferent to you or it's going to eat you. It's not going to love on you. There's moments, especially with domesticated animals, ones that have a history of being around humans, but you know, some of them, yeah, I see people do some of the craziest stuff in nature. So anyways, I'm rambling on. I think I'm about done with this fishing attempt. I'm blessed and have a good garden this year. I've been having to do a lot of irrigating the past 3 weeks, 2 weeks. And before that, but we did have a week and a half of respite. Got a nice cool front. And there's a little bit of rain. Wait, did we get rain? No, we didn't get rain. We just got cooler temps. Haven't gotten rain in a while. But again, I watch a couple of Texas-based homestead channels and gardening and whatnot, and man, oh man, they're just getting burned up. And I know all about it. I used to live there. This is where I live now. I love it. I spent decades in the city. It's time to spend decades in nature, which I have too. I'm an old guy. That's what happens when you get to be old. You're good at pretty much everything, and you know a lot, and you've been in a lot of places, and then it gets kind of frustrated when maybe a youngster or even just even another peer just makes an assumption that, like, you must have never, like you've never gone anywhere or done anything. And I'm like, but I do it too. I get it. But yeah, if we could like tap into each other and see what the other has seen. Not that I'm saying we should. I don't want to be that connected to another person, especially, God, through like an artificial matrix or whatnot, because that's where we're headed. That's where there's a lot of, the whole let's do a hive mind and let's let this technology join us. No, no, thank you. And simple form, yeah, but a hive mind of doing a mind meld and going, oh, I see everything you've seen. It's like, no. But definitely don't take it for granted that whatever life you've lived, the other has, whether sedentary or adventurous. And even if you have been adventurous, don't think that you're talking to somebody that isn't more so. But, so yeah, I guess wrapping all that gibberish up is, if I show you a video of me relocating a snake on the other side of the lake, that doesn't mean that's what I'm going to do every time. If I tell you my story of having had enough with a very large snake, I definitely don't do that every time. Everything's case by case, with respect to God for this creation, but not so much that I lose sight and fall in love with the creation. I do dig it, but I dig God more. I'm thankful. And every time I look around, that's the proof I need. Because I see the other force. I see that other force that would have us twizzled and confused. So if that exists, then the pure righteousness and grace exists as well. Alrighty, y'all. It was good chatting with you. Leave a comment. I'd love to chat. Just let me know what you think. What's going on with you? Make a video. Make a video and tell me what's going on. Until next time, God bless you and have a good one. Take care.